Alright guys, we are going to go over your Gizmo, so you should have a copy of the rabbit population Gizmo lab, and you should have logged on to Explore Learning, the Gizmo login link. You should see the rabbit population by season, and you should have clicked on that and launched the Gizmo. So it looks like this on the right of your screen, and I split my screen to have the document on the left. So this Gizmo is looking at different limiting factors, the carrying capacity and population density of the rabbit population in this area. And we're going to change some different limiting factors to see how that affects the population. So you guys are going to go through and answer the prior knowledge questions, thinking about what rabbits are like a little bit, and then the Gizmo warm-up is just to kind of get you started. So to show you some of the different tabs, the first question here, you're going to select the bar chart tab. So over in the right here, you have the description, table, bar chart, and graph. Click the bar chart tab, and then you also need to click on show value, and that will give you the number. So what is the size of the initial rabbit population? Then if you select the table tab and you click play, you're going to allow the simulation to run for a year. So at the bottom here where it says clock, it goes spring, summer, fall, and winter. That is considered a year. So as that little blue line moves across, you're going to wait until it starts at spring again and pause it. So we'll do that here. As you can see, it's moving and also recording data for us as it goes through spring, summer, fall, and winter. And it started over, so we will pause it. Okay, so then you have data now that you can scroll up and down and look at which season did the rabbit population increase the most. So looking at spring, it had 40, summer, it had 111, fall, there was 120, and winter, there was 130. If you look at the difference between spring and summer, it increased about 70 rabbits, and then summer to fall, it only increased about 10, and then fall to winter, it only increased about 10 as well. And then winter to spring, there was only 7. So based on that information, which one increased the most, which one increased the least. And when you're ready to clear that, you just hit the reset button. Then activity A is looking at the carrying capacity. So you had a warm up on this today. That carrying capacity is the amount that an area can withstand and support. Okay, so the highest number that that population can go. So you should have clicked reset. You're going to work through the questions, and then when you get to run Gizmo, you're going to click back on that description tab. And then where it says simulation speed, slow to fast, you're going to move it over to the fast. You can move it all the way over or kind of set it in the middle a little bit more. And then you're going to click on the graph tab. Now, you're going to click play then and let the simulation run for 10 years. So that means you're going to let this clock go through spring through winter 10 times. And as you do that, it's going to go through it a little bit faster, and you can see this graph starts to change. So you're going to keep doing that for 10 years. If you need to see more of the years, you can zoom out. And then as you can see, it goes 4, 8, 12, and so on. And so the graph is going to continue to grow, and you're going to describe what happened to the population, and then what pattern do you see, if there's like a level pattern or if it goes up and down. Then when you look at the carrying capacity, you're going to look at what the environment's approximate carrying capacity for the rabbits. You can click back on table and average those out, or kind of look at the bar chart, or if you look at the graph and zoom in, you can find which year it kind of levels out and then make an estimate based on the rabbit population. Okay, then activity B, we're going to reset everything. I'm going to zoom out again a little bit. So your clock's reset and everything. Then on the simulation, you're going to make sure that ample land is selected. That means there's a lot of space for those rabbits. And you're going to work through the population density, and you're going to work through density dependent limiting factors. So these density dependent limiting factors are things like the space and land, or the amount of food and water that's available, or shelter that's available for these rabbits. And you're going to do some changes to the gizmo to see what happens when land is taken away, and then some other questions. Then when you get to activity C, you'll make sure that everything's reset, ample is set again, and then you're going to look at the density independent limiting factors. So the density independent limiting factors are those factors that are like not within the control of that area. It could be something as like really cold temperatures or really hot temperatures, a change in weather conditions. It's not something that's normal. So you're going to look at that. And what you're going to do is this time you're going to work through and take snapshots of the rabbit population in the different graphs. So this first example is you're just clicking play. You're letting it run through here, I would say for at least 5 to 6 years, to get a good idea of what the population looks like. And you want to wait till it reaches carrying capacity. So if you go through 5 to 6 years, you should be able to reach that carrying capacity where you need to go. So I would say to at least go to 6 years and then pause. And as you can see, my graph starts to level out here around 425. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to take a snapshot of the graph. So if you look here, there's a camera in the upper right corner. You're going to click on that camera, and it takes just a nice little snapshot of your graph. If you double click on that, you're going to copy the image, and then you can enter it in to your document. Now, I would say to make sure your graph is a little bit smaller, like don't make it too small that I can't see it, but you would enter that in, and then this asks you to label the graph normal weather. So that way you kind of can see what happens. Then you're going to do that same thing for harsh winter. Then you're going to go through and again take a picture of the graph. Then you're going to look at what happens if there's a cold spring. And then the last one is you're going to look at what happens if there's a hot summer. And take a snapshot of each of those graphs once they reach carrying capacity, so at least 5 to 6 years. Once you're done with all of this, you are going to go back and submit it onto Schoology. Again, this assignment is due Friday, so you have today through Friday to continue working on it. I would say to work on maybe an activity a day. You should be able to do that. So if you get done with activity A today, then work on activity B tomorrow, and then finish up activity C Friday. If you have any questions, please email me. Otherwise, have a good day and good luck.